So there we go with the pistol round. Nico already picked off the first frag. And the mousesports up in a 5v4. Just starting this map as the last map ended. Only with an important frag, but will he pick it up? It doesn't look like it. Chris J will prevail with the more bullets in his clip. It always favors the Glock. If you don't hit those 12 bullets with a USP, it's your own fault. And you can't blame the game. Next, with a headshot on Xantares, making it a 5v2. Despi and Tugux. Oh, Tugux with a good frag here. At least giving the CTs a fighting chance. But they will be intercepted by Dennis already, who goes down to Despi. Dennis definitely overextended here. It was a 2v4, and those rounds quickly turn around. Tugux with another frag. Now it's a 2v2 still. Nico on 24 only. Gets picked off by Tugux with another frag. Nico is the last man alive. 24. Any bullet can kill him anytime now. He has to hold his position. But he still has to plant the bomb, so he has to make the splits. Do I go for a frag, or do I have to plant the bomb because I'm running out of time? He will not run out of time, at least not for the next 15 seconds. Now he should think about putting the C4 down. CTs will push him together. Despi down to 21, and he will still be killed. Tugux with a quad kill for SpaceSoldiers. 1-0. What a round, what a comeback. And I think the key frag, no offense to Dennis, but if you're in a 4v2, why would you push into the hole in the wall and even peek into that area? I mean, I would understand if he stays here and peeks in here, but he peeked that way. And that was a little bit too extensive. Wow. But he makes up with that frag. Maybe he has heard me say that I was not impressed by that pistol round by mousesports. Stuff like that should never happen. They have won the first map 16-6, and yes, I will put that on the overlay. But they should avoid being fooled into thinking that this is going to be easy. Because SpaceSoldiers are one of those squads that are very strong on their own map. And they have strong individuals. They have shown already. And if they win 2 pistol rounds, you never know what's gonna happen. So SpaceSoldiers, with the first few frags, making it a 4v3. mousesports focuses on the B bomb site. Oh, Speedy with a good frag onto Xantares. He's looking for another one, but Next and Dennis have to put that to work. Oh, Speedy with another frag. Now it's only Despi. Those two teams, they keep us on our toes. Despi with the UMP. Oh, he's a little bit distracted by the 2 players dancing around in front of him. And it can be really hard to pick your target, but Speedy picks the target quicker. Headshot with a scout will make light work of Despi. 1-1. mousesports is back. And that really reminds me of the first map. Cash started a similar way. But SpaceSoldiers are not able to get themselves weapons in their hands. They just barely won the first round. And yeah, that doesn't really give them too much fighting chance in this one either. 1 P250 for Xantares. That's all they were able to afford. mousesports on the other side have everything. 2 AKs, 2 UMPs, a scout for Chris J. It's the weapon that he grew up with, so to speak. Like one of those tiny cars that you can just push around on your knees when you have them as your kids. And if that one was a Lamborghini or maybe a Ferrari, you want to get one of those cars when you grow up. That's like Chris J. I think when he was a baby, his mother put a scout in his hands, and when he grew up, he wanted to be an all player. Now, Only and company doing a good job of cornering the terrorists and disposing of them together. Xantares laying down the covering fire, and Despi will finish off next, making it a 2v3. SpaceSoldiers is rotating back to the B bomb site. They figure that mousesports is almost only chance to win this round is plant the bomb and then get a crossfire setup or get their players into those positions. There is Speedy picking off only. Despy could think about saving that AK. If they don't get a quick shot, they don't get a quick frag, it's probably not worth running in there anymore. Oh, Despy has a good angle. Oh, easy frag onto Nico from behind. Now Xantaris is pushing forward. They know that the last one is in drop zone. Oh, but Despy goes down and Xantaris will fake the bomb. But the time is running low. Speedy's right around the corner and he will clutch around for mousesports. Triple kill for Speedy. And again, SpaceSoldiers bring mousesports to the brink of losing an important round. The Turkish squad really has a fighting chance in this map. The odds on CSGO Lounge. Give me a second. Heavily favor mousesports with 85 to 15%. And you're able to see the battle odds on your own screen at home in the idle. So everyone, including me, favors mousesports in this one. And the first frag will favor them as well. Now SpaceSoldiers put a lot of emphasis on this AWP here in the hands of Despy. He's in the right position, but if mousesports just smokes him off and get an additional angle on drop zone, this could be a very hairy situation. The first frag onto Chris J for Despy, making it a 4v4 again, but the terrorists know there is an AWP around, so they will smoke themselves in there. Dennis with an important angle onto Engine, gets the frag without any trouble. And now it's Despy alone inside the site. He has to fend them off. Tugux in the meantime onto the A-bomb site, onto Speedy, and only will get another frag. But that's all he can do for now. He has to wait until the bomb is planted, until his teammate is with him. Now they will push in. Only takes point. Famas frag onto Dennis. Nico is the last man. He's in drop zone. The perfect position to play with the mines of the CTs. He will silently drop into B main. Gets the first one. Only is already down. But Tugux with the frag through the door. SpaceSoldiers are back at it. And Tugux will be able to save the AWP probably. The time after the time runs out has been reduced. So after the time runs out, or after the round has been won, the time difference until the next round will start has been changed a little bit. But SpaceSoldiers won't care about that. Despy has his scope back. And SpaceSoldiers make it 2-2. Keeping mousesports within reach. In this situation, within reach equals at a score of equal odds. Chris J and Tugux with the first few frags. The A-bomb site has been breached. Tugux is racing back to seal that hole, but he goes down to Chris J's headshot. Really stepping it up today with his rifle work. And the CTs are shut out of the A-bomb site. They try to push in there, but Engine has to hold his horses. Big shout out to my Twitter followers and also to Sinan, who pointed out that he's pronounced Engine. And Chris J with a quad kill here in the eco round for mousesports, a 1v2, and next will put Xantaris to rest. Mousesports will re-upset SpaceSoldiers, if that term even exists. Welcome to the world. Maybe I have just brought a new term to the light of world. It is a re-upset by mousesports. Those eco rounds, they really make the team struggle. Look at that. It's just insane how close this game has been so far. SpaceSoldiers with the desperation go for the CZ75 and a deagle for only. His teammate Tugux gets blown to smithereens in A main, but only gets the headshot. He has armor and the AK now. He can intercept the terrorists a little bit. There he goes, another headshot onto Speedy. A 3v3 now. The CT's on the rotation. They have Despy in the balcony already. The bomb is now ticking. Engine with the 5-7. Maybe has to close the distance a little further. They let Engine stay in there and only works his angle. He tries to find somebody with his AK. But Engine has to get that frag. Oh, puts Nico in big trouble. 5 HP only for Nico. And he will cramp himself in the corner. Pray to the lords that Chris J comes to his help. And Chris J gets another quad kill. His second quad kill in consecutive rounds. 4-2 now for mousesports. Thanks to one man who was sitting at 1 frag at first, but now he's at 9. Tugux on 9 frags. Centaurus has to step it up, but he maybe hasn't had the chance so far. Chris J again. He's just bulldozing the guys. Look at his mouse movement. He's so confident. He's checking everything. Now next, we will try to hold off the CTs and get another frag. It shouldn't be too greedy, in my opinion, you know. Getting frags is all cool and it is fun, but killing each other for frags, that's not fun at all. Chris J on to Nex with a team kill. The punishment is real for Nex not getting the deagle kill. 5-2 now for mousesports. They look a little less concerned with their playing style. They are more easy, relaxed. You know, they are just playing the game very fluently. They go for those headshot plays, reminding me of the old G2 squad, aka FaZe. Or the old Fnatic when JW was still just running around with his AWP, killing people left and right. Now he's a little calmed down. Looking at this weapon round, it's just mousesports all over the place again. They will run everywhere and get those frags. Engine is one of the 2 guys was able to reply. But SpaceSoldiers are in the ropes, that's for sure. Engine is already way too low, so he can't commit anymore. They didn't have a defuse kit, and they don't have any equipment to throw at the terrorists. So they do the wise thing to do in this situation. They hide away and go for the save, while mousesports will get another round on the board. And this one, I have to say, was a straightforward B-go. No time wasted. They just walk in there. 3 players pick up a frag each. The rest doesn't even have to do anything anymore. It's just happened so quickly. The CTs didn't have the chance to rotate. And that's something that is cool and bad at the same time about CSGO. The results that quick gameplay will grant you is quite surprisingly good. As I mentioned, FaZe Clan, the old Fnatic, LGB back in the day even. You know, the old Swedish LGB squad that was just running and gunning when Olof and Crims were still with them. Those squads, they abuse a certain aspect of the game. Then we have other games that end up having Na'Vi against Luminosity in the grand finals. And suddenly you realize, well, in the end it's still the better team that wins the game, because it's just different philosophies. You can compare it to football, for example, where one coach tries to keep his team very disciplined and very focused on the defensive aspect of the game, while other coaches make their squads run wild. Now this eco round doesn't seem to be too promising for SpaceSoldiers, as they get picked off one by mousesports. The Germans inch away. They make it 7-2. Now let's see if SpaceSoldiers can work their way back into this game. They have 2 AWPs, Despy and Tugux. It's most often the time, you know, either when the CTs have a lot of control or when they are on the brink of losing a game. That's the time to go for the double AWP setup. It's very risky in those situations because it's a heavy investment. But SpaceSoldiers trust Tugux and Despy to get a few important frags. Centaurus is the one to step it up at first. And only still holding on to that connector area. He will face off against 3 terrorists, and depending on their timing and their coordination, he will have a very rough time here. But he's called in already for some help. And Despy is coming up with that help. Despy with a second frag. Great job by him. Now he has to trust Despy to intercept the rest of the terrorists. Only still expecting somebody to come his way. But it's Despy again with the triple kill. SpaceSoldiers are back on the board after a lengthy terrorist round streak. They finally get themselves something to work with. A flawless round. That's one of the few rounds that mousesports went for that very coordinated push, you know. Well, it didn't look as coordinated as they wanted to make it look, but they took their time. They went for the peaks, but they were shut down. And Nico is flashed inside the inside the platform. Tugix is already, but look at that reaction by Nico. Insane play by him. Engine killed right away. Tugix is able to reply and keep the CTs in control, but Nico is so scary with his AK. That's something that SpaceSoldiers need to take into consideration every single round. It's like rolling a dice. Will Nico get 3 random headshots or will he only get 2 random headshots? Doesn't matter for now. Only a Nex with a few frags on the A-bomb side, trading blow for blow. Dennis and Nex still standing in long, but only has switched his position. And the CTs are looking very good here. They have the oh, not... Wow, Nex. He gets the third as well. Nex is going ham on SpaceSoldiers. When I was about to say, SpaceSoldiers have the triangle of death. They had players... Well, let's draw it like that. They had players over here and over here and over here. And the terrorists were there. And I thought, well, the crossfire is real, you know. SpaceSoldiers even got another frag, but then it was Nex just twirling around like a mixer, getting frags wherever he peeked. I mean, he didn't really have to peek. The terrorists, the CTs came for him, and he just had to pull the trigger on the right moment with the right aim. And that was Nico-like aim for mousesports. 8-3 now. SpaceSoldiers is back in their troublesome position where they barely afford a buy round. Despy got his hands on the AK, and mousesports are down 2 men. Now it's up to Nex and his surviving mates to turn this round into the favor of mousesports. Chris J, equipped with his lovely AWP. A good flash by the terrorist. Chris J with that frag. Nex with another headshot onto Tugux. It's looking very good for mousesports. 3v2 now. Speedy almost went down, but stayed alive with that 10 HP. He had 14 prior to the nade, and Nex is covering his teammate. Even though Chris J got traded, it's Nex hosing down only. He's running into some trouble. Bomb is planted. Finally, Speedy had some trouble punching in the code there. Maybe he forgot a few of those digits, but Nex doesn't forget about killing only. And mousesports is back again. 9-3. Just letting one round slip. And they are right back on track again. But the rounds have been heavily contested here by SpaceSoldiers. And it's a more or less terrorist-sided map. You have to take that into consideration as well. Even though SpaceSoldiers won the knife round, and they chose to go and start on the CT side. Let's see, Chris J with those 4 kills in the 5th round, winning it for mousesports, and then coming up with another 4K. Definitely broke the momentum for SpaceSoldiers. Also broke their equipment. If we compare it, the equipment value plummeted after the first quad kill by Chris J. They were in a save, but again, that save round was rather close. I can show you that on here. It was the 6th round. It was a round that the CTs almost turned away again. So, Chris J, very important impact frags for him in this game. And Nex was taken over in those rounds. So whenever SpaceSoldiers have a round, it's one individual player for mousesports that steps up. In those 2 rounds it was Chris J. In those 2 rounds it was Nex. with 4 kills in this one and 3 kills in the next one to follow it up. And you know, when you have, let's say, a virus, you want to really extinguish it. You want to eliminate every single virus there is. You have to get rid of all of them. And mousesports is making sure that this virus is not breaking out again. In this case, SpaceSoldiers is the virus, and mousesports is the antidote. I think the Turkish squad decided to go for a tactical pause. I will check the admin channel though. So let's keep our fingers crossed for SpaceSoldiers to make up for their few rounds that they might have won. For example, Nexus triple kill inside the A-bomb site. That was a round that SpaceSoldiers should have won with their positions. mousesports did not necessarily have any control over A. They were both over here. Christian was killed by Only, who was in A main. But then it was Nex just pushing there, recklessly shooting heads. Popping them like balloons. So I don't know what's happening. Let's take a peek at SpaceSoldiers. Engine is still not moving. He hasn't bought anything either. Tygus is asking for some seconds. So really, with those names like Engine, for example, it could have been a weird different name, so I chose to call him NGIN at first, until I was corrected by the Turkish audience, or by the audience that watch SpaceSoldiers more regularly than I do. As you might know, I am busy streaming myself, so I barely watch any other games anymore. I have been casting, well, I think 75% of the days that I've spent in Berlin from November on, I have spent casting. So if you're casting yourself, you can't watch the games that are going on, and usually you have to handle some different stuff after you've been casting, so you only watch the VODs of the very important matches. Just a small explanation for you guys out there. SpaceSoldiers on the save, and mousesports back in the driving seat. They have spotted Tugux already. And Krishay scaring them away. He's holding his horses. He doesn't want to get another team kill. But Dennis and Speedy don't care at all. They will push forward. And they will sweep the floor with the CTs over there. It was a good try by SpaceSoldiers. They had 4 players in right positions. But if you don't hit your shots, even a stack won't yield a successful result. And mousesports is just so reckless in those situations. They don't pay any respect to their opponents anymore. If you just tuned in, mousesports has qualified for the IEM Katowice tournament by ESL yesterday. So they did their job, and they want to secure another LAN in February. The LAN finals of the Gameshow eSports Global eSports Cup will be hosted in Vilnius, and they will have a $200,000 prize pool. So it's a big tournament that every team wants to participate. Especially getting to the offline finals would be a great feat for mousesports. Maybe a tournament that they can really break through. We've got the likes of NIP in there. We've got Envious as well. We've got as X question mark. So all the big names are in there, while we see the big names of SpaceSoldiers get killed one after another. Only and Tuguk standing for the CTs, and I expected something to happen on the A-bomb side, which was not necessarily the case. Only and the terrorists were facing off. They were so close to each other, but in the end, mousesports made their way into the B-bomb side. They will planned over there. And Nico comes back into the back of the CTs. And he's just running. He doesn't even care about sneaking or anything. He has spotted that CT on the platform. Tuguk's down to 16 already. He's got him pinned down. Oh, nice reply though by Tuguk's. And hello from the other side. I'm still there. Oh, but this one isn't going the way. Christian and Speedy will eliminate the CTs. And SpaceSoldiers will have a rough time buying up in this round. They will still go for it though. It is the last round. Oh, I was looking at the 14th before we switched around, so no reason for them to save up anymore. Max 7 for only. He's still sticking to his position. He still goes for a long, which I wouldn't necessarily have done. I would have switched with Engine. Engine with a 5-7 frag though, opening up promising round for SpaceSoldiers. But the terrorists are still not committed fully. Despy with the frag onto Nico though. 4v3 now. Nexus inside the drop zone, and he doesn't have any support yet, but he doesn't need any. Frag onto Despy, another one onto Engine. 3v2 only, and Tuguk's on the rotation. Tuguk's doing a good job of keeping the CTs in the running. He gets Speedy down to low HP and finishes the job. Only picked up a FAMAS as well on the way to the bomb site, and Christian realizes one of the CTs is fairly low. If I go in with the Tech 9, I might get that first frag. Christian will put Tuguk's to rest, and only running into some trouble, running out of bullets, and Christian running out of bullets as well. At least on his Tech 9, he's back on the scope. And now only is the same. It's Scout against Op, and Christian has reloaded his Tech 9 to make it 12-3. And SpaceSoldiers are not doing what I hoped them to do. I hoped for them to win the 3 last rounds, to make it 9-6. And a 9-6 would have been a scoreline that they would be able to come back from. A 12-3 is probably asked a little bit too much for SpaceSoldiers. Tugux is on the lookout for anything on the A-bomb side, while his teammates just holding passively on B platform. Dennis already pushed out all the way outside of the A-bomb side. Got that fairly weird frag onto Tugux, who didn't know that Dennis was as far pushed out as he was. So he completely disregarded that angle that Dennis was in. Nico with a good headshot on the second one to follow it up. And a third one, no problem for Nico. It's just shooting pigeons there inside the B-bomb side. 13-3 in favor of mousesports. They look like they could make this a very quick second map. Only in company with a 4 spy, trying to keep mousesports from reaching the 14th round. CZ75 on Despy. Tech 9 for Tugux, and a good trade by both of the key weapon wielding terrorists. CZ75 and Tech 9 going to work on Speedy and Dennis. And the terrorists are looking for another frag. Tugux realize it's only a decoy nade. Next, in the meantime, will pick off Despy. What a frag by Tugux. Christian must be furious about that one, and only with a 1 decon to Next. It's a 2v1. Nico comes in from behind. They don't know where he's coming from. And that will be key for the terrorists. As soon as they spot him, they have to focus on that. Only on 14 HP. Nico knows where he is. And he has him pinned down, but only with another 1 deke for SpaceSoldiers. They stay alive in this matchup. They make it 4-13. It's fairly late, but maybe it's not too late yet. SpaceSoldiers with a chance to kick off their own streak against mousesports. Let's find out if the Germans can get back here. They will not have the best weaponry in this round, but maybe they can pick off a few terrorists, make it expensive, and especially with that stack. Look at that. It's not likely the terrorists will run into that, but if SpaceSoldiers end up on the A-bomb site, this could be horrible for them. Nico is holding aggressively. Why shouldn't he? He's got the Deagle of Doom. Just waiting for the terrorist to pop up on his screen. While SpaceSoldiers is checking out the A-bombs. So they're going for the map control oriented approach in this anti-eco. They take it very slowly. They are almost looking scared here. Pop flash into A main. Despi comes leaping around the corner. Chris J is out. 4v5. Speedy with a 5-7. Oh, he's just barely able to get a frag together with Dennis and Speedy. Together they will demolish the terrorist push. Next with a double deagle headshot. Not headshot, but wow. He got the kills nonetheless with one bullet. Xantaris is the only one standing for SpaceSoldiers. The bomb is dropped inside A main. He's got a long route to cover. The smoke is there blocking him. And the CTs will position them as well as possible. First frag for Xantaris, clawing his way back into the round. He knows how massive this would be for his squad. He's held off by the CTs. They will stack up on the bomb. Stack up in long as well. Making it really impossible for him, especially now that the time is running out. The CTs could just rush him and try to kill him after the time runs out. Oh, they will get the frag in the end. Speedy captures the AK. mousesports 14-4. And Xantaris doesn't have that much money to work with, but his teammates don't have too much either. They will drop an AK. They have a deagle. And Xantaris gets passed on to wield the holy grail of weapons for the terrorists. The AK, the only one. Will it be able to kill the CTs? Engine already rushed forward, but Nico with a triple kill on the Max 7. Easy fraggings for him. He's got another one lined up. Flashes himself through the smoke, runs through there, but Tugux with a frag. It's probably going to be 15-4 in a matter of seconds. mousesports will have 11 map and match points in the Global eSports Cup, brought to you by Gameshow and Azubu. My name is Dabu. If you enjoyed the show so far, you can drop me a follow. I would appreciate that a lot. My Twitter handle is right underneath SpaceSoldiers. It's Dabu TV. Astralis and the Alternate will face off against each other in the playoff stage of the second group stage. So you've got really big names here competing in this tournament, as well as a few up-and-coming challenger squads. And challenging is also this push by SpaceSoldiers, only with one of his infamous 1D shots. He's really stepping it up with his steel. SpaceSoldiers with the backs against the wall. They will stay alive one more round. They will force mousesports on a save. But I think Chris J and Speedy could invest some money, as well as Dennis. Chris J is late to purchase armor, but he will stay at A anyway. Only a tiny investment for mousesports on Dennis and Chris J. Not as much as I expected them to invest in this round. But maybe that's mousesports just paying some more respect to their counterparts. Look at that though. Nico is already pushed in the back. He gets disposed of by only. And that's a very important frag for the terrorists. Now Dennis leaps out of the A-bombs and gets killed by Engine. Next with a headshot onto Xantaris. He didn't pick up the weapon though. And only is firing away onto Nex. That frag could have changed the outcome of the round. But let's see what Chris J and Speedy can do about it. 5-7. Speedy in a good position. He gets Engine down to 23 HP. Chris J is close by as well. The CTs are working together. But Speedy catches a double nade and goes down to 5. Goes in for the suicide move. And he could have stayed back a little bit. Still, the terrorists will run into Chris J's deadly deagle. Not deadly enough yet. He's got both of them in the range of one bullet. The first one goes down, but the second is keeping them alive. Despi with a double kill. SpaceSoldiers close the distance a little further. But mousesports is back on weapons. And the Germans will most likely be more cautious about those rounds. Now that they feel SpaceSoldiers can win those rounds as well, you know. They were considered quite close, considering the circumstances. But I think mousesports will focus a little more, and you know, at one point in those 15 to something matches, you relax a little bit too much. You just play round after round, and you don't really get that much going anymore, because it's just so, oh, we will get this round eventually. But they need to have somebody telling them, guys, it's time to focus again. We have to watch out. This game is not over yet. Next to the key position, flashes himself in there, stays around for a second frag, but it's Christian and Speedy again against 3 terrorists. Speedy's on the rotation already. Oh, he doesn't know that Tugux is around. Both of them having trouble picking each other off, but Tugux in the end prevails with the AK against the M4A1 with only 2 HP. But it was enough to win the round for SpaceSoldiers. Chris J is running away. He wants to save the orb. mousesports will not have a lot of money. They have to watch out to not let this game slip away from them. 9 more rounds to go for SpaceSoldiers. After this one, which should end in their favor. It would be quite weird if Chris J came back into this round. So after this one, it's still 8 rounds to go for SpaceSoldiers. Maybe they can pull it off. I wouldn't necessarily say no to that. Engine is doing a good job. Tugux is doing the same as well. On 20 frags now. And they try to hunt Chris J down. It's not going to happen though. He will stay alive. So 20 frags for Tugux. Engine had a very rough time, but he came up with a few important frags, especially in those rounds here. Xantares is the one that's almost disappointing at the moment. On the other side, we have Nex on 28 frags, 18 for Chris J and Nico. mousesports have a team effort on their account, except for Nex, who's sticking out a little bit like an iceberg in the Atlantic Ocean. SpaceSoldiers are the Titanic. They are steering towards that iceberg. Maybe they will hit it. Maybe they can just barely avoid it. It is a close affair nonetheless, so they are taking on water already. They have to do their very best to get the water out of their ship again. Xantares is just working on drop zone. Tugux in A main together with his teammates only and Engine. SpaceSoldiers is not fancying the B platform execution too much. They focus a lot on A. And there are different philosophies about cobblestone. Different teams play it differently. mousesports played a lot of A long when they still had Go B. Now they switched their playing style quite a lot. First frag by Chris J on the B bomb side, picking off Xantares, but the A bomb side is only defended by Speedy. He's got the pistol at work, and Engine goes down. Only the 3 frag. The CT's in full retake mode already. 3v3 now thanks to Tuguk's second frag for the terrorists. But Chris J is still alive, and the time is about to run out. Despy is alone. 4-5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. It's mousesports winning their game against SpaceSoldiers. 16-7. 28 frags for Nex in this second map. And mousesports will not let SpaceSoldiers get anything in this best of 3 series. Both maps ended 16-6 and 16-7. So roughly the same scoreline on those 2 maps. I think that the Xantares performance was key on those 2 maps. I was pointing it out on Cash already. When he stopped getting frags, SpaceSoldiers stopped getting rounds. The same goes for Cobblestone. He didn't get too many frags in the first place, and that kept SpaceSoldiers from getting too much on the board. mousesports had next the one-man army, showing that he can be just as strong as Nico. So I hope to see a round on the second best of 3 today. It's Astralis against Alternate Attacks, another German team on display. But this time around, the Germans are not the favorites. It's Astralis who should win straightforward. But Alternate is a strong team. and they want to qualify as well. So stay tuned for a second best of 3 series. My name is Dabu. You can follow me over here, and I would appreciate that if you went to Twitter, if you have a Twitter account. If you don't have Twitter, don't worry about that. You will get it if you are really focused and interested in the gaming scene. You should get a Twitter account, because there is so much hidden information that you can get out of those little posts, you know, and you're not as dependent on Reddit or hltv.org. So, my 2 cents about Twitter. I don't know why I came up with that story, but I thank you for tuning in, and we will see each other in roughly, I don't know, probably 1 hour something. I will play music, and you can chat to me. You can ask me anything in chat, and I will happily answer every question. So, thank you for being around. I was Dabu, and this was the Gameshow Global Esports Cup.